BodkinShow. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. This is another great episode of the Bodkin Show. It is our Wednesday morning weekly wrap-up show. We talk all things sports, a little housekeeping stuff. Make sure you check out this past Sunday's episode with Andy from at NFL Outdated. We talked everything, all things football, from fall risers to fallers, players and teams, his shitty Bears, much more. So please check out that episode. Give Andy a follow on Twitter at NFL Outdated. Check out his YouTube as well on at NFL. It's NFL Outdated. Also on Monday, we did about a 2-hour show with Buffoon and Bodkin show. That's on the Sports Buffoons show, so make sure you guys check that out as well. That way you can catch up on everything that's been going on the last few days here on the Bodkin show. We got some other big announcements coming this way. Also on Sunday, we did announce our giveaway winner. Dan Harris will be the first ever person to win a Bodkin Show t-shirt. That's right, he won a Bodkin Show t-shirt that's currently getting made. Dan will have that hopefully end of the month. Maybe a little bit later. Maybe we'll see. We're working on things here, folks. It's a slow process when you're a one band man. I mean, I'm not really one band man. I got a lot of people in my corner helping out and things like that. But yeah, so this is our weekly wrap up show. Also, we're gonna have a special Friday show. We may still do a show on Sunday. We're working on some things, but I wanted to get all the baseball knowledge in. If you've watched the Buffoon and Bodkins, we've had the great Jonathan Grishman on. He's a great baseball mind, ex MLB player. So he'll be on Friday night. We're gonna do a special 6:00 p.m. Central Time Zone Friday with John. He's going to be talking all things baseball, kind of get us a break down the first half and get us geared up for the second half and the trade deadline. Remember, the second half starts, I think the All-Star game is next week. I believe it's this weekend is the, all the home run derbies and all that. But yeah, so that'll be happening. Baseball getting ready to kick off their second season, plus all the All-Star game. The All-Star game and trade deadline is coming. So let's get started with we're also going to be going on Spotify. Let me just announce that as well. This episode will be our first episode on Spotify, so welcome all Spotify listeners. When you listen to this, that'll be happening. We'll be on Spotify now. We'll be on YouTube. We're still got if you're catching me on Facebook and Twitter, just go ahead and make sure you guys go over to the YouTube or Spotify when it gets uploaded and click the link, subscribe. I can only see a lot of comments in the YouTube, so always switch over to the YouTube if you're watching anything other than YouTube, so I can catch your comments and we can interact a little bit here. Drinking my morning coffee with y'all. Let's always talk about the NFL. That's the biggest and best league, so we always start there. Still no movement on Deshaun Watson, but we did get movement on Baker Mayfield finally. Baker headed to Carolina for like a 5th round pick. Browns are paying most of his money, are paying like $10 million. He took a pay cut. Baker, I think the Browns or the Panthers only paying him like $5 million. But the Browns gonna pay Baker $10 million to play against them week 1 of next year. I thought this was a great trade all the way around. It's a win-win-win for everybody. The Browns had to get rid of Baker Mayfield once they made the Deshaun Watson trade. Baker wanted out of the Cleveland the way they did him. The Panthers needed an upgrade at quarterback. They got that upgrade at quarterback with Baker Mayfield. I don't want to hear about this quarterback competition. That's Baker Mayfield's team, y'all. It's not really going to be a competition. Baker should win that once he's completely healthy. I like it. I like the move. I think it's gonna work out well for Baker, the Panthers, and the Browns just had to get rid of him. Whatever happens to Deshaun Watson is what happens. Whether he's suspended for a year, 6 to 10 games, who knows? There's just been multiple reports. Hopefully, we'll get a ruling on that soon. But Baker's in Carolina. Remember, I said last week that that's upgrade for them. The next shoe to drop there in the NFL will be the Jimmy Garoppolo trade. It looks like the Seahawks are kicking the tires on Jimmy, trying to check him out. He's finally healthy, so we'll see if they're going to trade in. I think the deal for the Baker trade helps them because they can say, well, the Panthers got rid of, or the Browns got rid of their backup, a comeback quarterback for a 5th rounder. So, how much are you willing to get rid of Jimmy G at their pick? So that could be possibly you know, maybe a 3rd round pick. I think. I mean, they're not going to ask. They can't ask for too much, and maybe they don't want to trade. The 49ers don't want to trade them inside the division, so it might cost a little bit more. But I personally like. The Seahawks got to make that move. They have to make the trade for Jimmy G because you can't go into a season starting Drew Lock and Geno Smith as your 2 quarterbacks. If you are, you're pretty much just giving up on the season already. Uh, so I think that deal happened once Jimmy gets to 100%. Again, I mean, the Panthers, back to the Baker Mayfield. I don't know how my expectations of the Panthers. I mean, they'll probably finish, I don't know, 3rd in that division. Obviously, the Bucks are the class. I expect big things from the Saints to bounce back. Um, and then the Panthers and the Falcons are in full rebuild mode. So I kind of like the Panthers. Maybe they could catch stuff. Matt Rule's on the hot seat. This is the trade that they needed to have. It'll all depend on CMC there, whether he can stay healthy. Because if he can't stay healthy, then their season. We haven't seen CMC stay healthy in over 2 years. So we'll see. He hasn't even been in Matt Rule's offense yet, really. In other NFL news, looks like Nikhil Harry, former 1st-round pick of the Patriots, he gets traded to the Bears for a 7th-round pick in like 2024 or something like that. So, wow. I mean, Nikhil Harry just hasn't done much in New England. It was time for him to go. He asked to be traded. Things just weren't working out there. The Bears need some receivers. I mean, when you're running out there as your best guy is Darnell Mooney, and everybody wants to talk about their tight end Cole Kmet being something, uh, you know, their receiving course, the cupboard's pretty bare. So why not bring in Nikhil Harry and see what he can do? Maybe he can help you out. Him and Justin Fields. I mean, I don't really think things were set up that well for Nikhil Harry in New England. Yeah, that's just kind of what happens when you have Cam Newton and then last year you have Mac Jones. So we'll see what happens there in Chicago. But I mean, why not take a flyer on Nikhil Harry for the Bears? The 7th-round pick. You need the help now. You're not, Nikhil Harry's not going to help you win a Super Bowl this year, but he could help you win a few games maybe this year. And at least you can see what you got in him. I mean, for a 7th-round pick 2 years from now, that's easy money, easy deal for the Bears to make, and just see what you got in a guy like Nikhil Harry. Another story that's kind of been flying under the radar is this Lamar Jackson deal that has not got done. Lamar has posted on his Instagram or Twitter the background of "I need money" from How High. Pretty quite hilarious, but they have got to get that deal done. They got to get that extension done. I don't know what Lamar's asking for, and I don't know what the Ravens like. Ravens are what they're offering, but it's a deal that has to be done. I don't know. They're pissed off at the Browns because what the Browns gave for Deshaun Watson. I don't know if Lamar's got an MVP, Deshaun doesn't. But they've got to get that deal done. The Ravens have catered that whole offense and that whole program to Lamar Jackson. So that deal has got to be done. They've got to give Lamar a multi-year extension. Pay that man his money, is what I like to say, because he deserves it. I mean, he was hurt, banged up last year, but this is going to be a year. Hopefully he bounces back. I like the Ravens to probably finish 2nd in that division. I think the Bengals, I like the Bengals too much, man. maybe and it'll be interesting because now all the expectations will be on the Bengals, and we'll get into all that. We're going to do some weekly, reviews on football, hopefully on the Sunday show episodes, and get some different guys from different teams to talk about why they think their team could possibly be, um, you know, win their division. We'll do a lot of different division breakdowns once we get a little closer. But the Ravens got to get the Lamar deal done. I mean, you did trade away his number one guy in Hollywood Brown, but I think Rashad Bateman's going to have a nice year for them. They had some injuries last year. Dobbins, the Gus Bus. I mean, just so many injuries. Now, if they can be healthy, they're really well coached. I like that team to finish second um, in the AFC North. So we'll see what happens here. Uh, Moving to the AFC or NBA news. Danilo Gallinari to the Boston Celtics. I like that. Nice little pickup there. Another nice bench guy. Uh, Gallinari, is a veteran, but can become the nice little 3-and-D guy to add to the nice Celtics bench that they already have. They added Morgan Drog or not Morgan Drog. Yeah. What was his name? Hold on a second. Now I'm drawing a blank. Malcolm Brogdon. That's his name. Malcolm Brogdon. So plus Darnell Gallinari. Sometimes it's just adding. You don't need to make the big splashy moves. That's what teams don't understand. When you already have a championship contender, you just got to add bench guys and good ball players to your team to hopefully get them over the hump. They didn't need to make a splash move. They're unless they make a splash move for KD or something like that, which I still think that could happen, and I still think that's a move to make for them. But they already have their nice young pieces. Add another piece. Speaking of KD, DeAndre Ayton is close to. It's been reported that Windhorse Wendy ESPN was reporting that DeAndre Ayton and the Pacers are close to a max deal. It'd have to be like a sign and trade, I think, or because he's a restricted free agent. But why not make that deal? I've never been a fan of DeAndre Ayton. I think he's a good ball player, but I wouldn't pay him a max deal. Allegedly, Miles Turner would be in that deal, and that's a nice pickup. And if you're going to get picks for DeAndre Ayton, maybe they somewhat package the Ayton. That's like the first step. They get picks, and then they can trade their picks plus the whatever picks the Pacers give them for Ayton to the Nets for KD. That could very well be what happens. I just would not give DeAndre Ayton the max, and I'm not too sure why the Pacers are wanting to because they're in full rebuild mode. Rebuild mode. Are you really going to build your team around DeAndre Ayton? And if this game was played the way it was, 15 years ago, back when big guys were big guys, and they clogged the paint and back to the basket type as DeAndre Ayton would be a more fit, would be a max type player. But the way the game is played, with outside shooting, everybody's got to be able to shoot the three in today's game almost. Are you just not quite? You're never going to be one of the elite players or a max type player. So that's my only knock on DeAndre Ayton. I'm not saying he's a bad ball player. I'm just saying I wouldn't give him the max. In other NBA news, the Bucks bringing back Pat Covington on a 3-year deal. The Bucks have just been quietly going about their business, folks. Trying to read. They're not haven't really added a whole lot of pieces like new faces, but they're bringing back all their guys to make another run. I mean, this is a team that if Chris Middleton hadn't got hurt, maybe they're in the NBA Finals. They're a team that I like as long as healthy. As long as they're healthy because if Middleton not got hurt against the Bulls, maybe that series with the Celtics looks a lot different. Maybe they win that series because it's not so much on Giannis because you're getting another 20 plus point scorer on your team and Chris Middleton, a guy who can ball. And Middleton's an underrated defender, can defend really well. So I mean, I think bringing back Pat Covington, they brought back Bobby Portis, a couple other guys. And the last little bit NBA news here. is Donovan Mitchell on the move? That's a real quick question. So it was. I thought that Donovan was once they traded Rudy Gobert. It looked like they were going to be on the move. He was going to be on the move. Then it was reported that Donovan said, "Hey, I'll stick around. Uh, I'll help rebuild this thing." But now the Jazz are saying, "Hey, we're shopping Donovan. We're willing to move Donovan Mitchell. Who wants him? Place the highest bidder. They're gonna acquire a bunch of picks here. It looks like, and they're just gonna rebuild that thing from the scratch up. I think that's probably the next big shoe to fall. That Donovan Mitchell will probably be traded, I think, before KD and Kyrie, just because teams will probably be willing to pay. And if we'll see what that deal looks like. Remember, they got like 4 firsts and like 5 players for Rudy Gobert. So what are they going to get for a guy like a Donovan Mitchell caliber, a guy who can score at will? Not the greatest defender at times, but he can flat out put the ball in the bucket, folks. And that's what this game's all about. And then once that move's done, the price will probably go up for KD once again. We got some live comments here coming in. Kenny Miller joining in. He says easier deal to make. Yeah, the Donovan trade is easier deal to make. You're right on the money. Just easy deal. Easy deal. That'll be the first shoe to drop. Donovan's doesn't, has never had any, off court issues. Never asked to been traded. So it's kind of weird for the Jazz to be trading, but they're just trying to rebuild everything, start from the ground up. Danny Ainge, the new GM, there's trying to build it in his image, the way he did in Boston. Tear it down and build it all the way back up. And sometimes that's what you got to do when you don't have a championship team. And the Jazz just weren't ever going to. Let's face it, they were the number 1 team, I think, 2 years ago in the West, but they just never once did you buy in saying that's a championship team that's gonna, win the NBA finals. Can't win with drama. Yeah, you can't. It's hard to win when everybody else has got shit going on. When you got off the court problems or off the field problems in any sport, once you're labeled that locker room distraction or you have those type of distractions, it's hard, man. Cohesiveness is the biggest thing. Cohesiveness is the biggest thing, and that's why I think the Nets won out of the Kyrie business. It's reported they were, what was it? They on their like off season thing, they didn't have Kyrie on like their billboards or anything like that. So that'll be interesting because what happens if Kyrie stays? I don't think he is. I've said this before. I think Kyrie's gone, but KD's staying. I got KD. I'm about 70%. He's going to be a Brooklyn net starting week 1, day 1 in Brooklyn there. Yeah, Rudy and Donovan not made play together exactly. And I think there's some hard feelings like after Donovan Mitchell got COVID, that Rudy gave him COVID and shit like that. I don't know if that relationship ever repaired itself. So we're gonna move right on along. In other sports news, before we get into some baseball, the Wimbledon happened wrapped up this past weekend. The Novak Djokovic wins Wimbledon. It's kind of it for him for the majors and tennis, because the next major is the U.S. Open. Well, Novak cannot get in because he's unvaccinated, can't come to the U.S. He's banned from the Australian due to like that vaccination thing. They banned him for a couple years, like 2 years, I think, due to like his fake COVID test, or I don't know what, like, I think he said he had been tested or had been vaccinated. It was a fake vaccination card, and they caught him down there in Australia. But he won't be able to come into the U.S. because you have to be vaccinated to come into the U.S. So he's not playing. Nadal was on a run. It looked like he was going to finish the calendar year out as winning all the majors in tennis, but he had gotten hurt in the semifinal or quarterfinal, and then had to pull out of the semifinal game with Kyrgios. But Novak wins. I'm going to butcher this lovely lady's name, but Elena Rakabua wins her first ever slam as she wins the women's side on Wimbledon. Yeah, Novak. Novak got immunized, exactly. Um, so that's a kind of in other little sports news. In other sports news too, Tiger speaking out of the Live Tour. That's right. Tiger's pretty much telling all these young bucks and all these guys, stay away. Like, you don't want to go there. Don't chase the money. Chase the majors. Chase, be on the U.S. Open. This is what we built for you guys. It's an honor to be on the tour, the PGA Tour. Tiger speaking out against everybody going to that Saudi league, and it's pretty much on the speaking highly of the PGA Tour, saying this is what you play for. You play. This is the league. This is it's an honor to be on the PGA Tour. Here's the thing, though, Tiger. Like, if I'm a young 20-year-old kid, Tiger, you're a billionaire. You don't need the Saudi money. Some of these kids who just got out of college and got out of, are in debt because their scholarships and things like that are, they're trying to make money. Money to me, if I'm a young 20-year-old kid, even at 35 years old, money is more important than winning the PGA Tour. And I'd rather go to play in the Saudi tour and make millions and billions. And they're only playing. He also criticized the fact they don't play like 48 holes; they play like 32 holes. So Tiger speaking out against the Live Tour, so we know we won't see Tiger. But again, Tiger doesn't need the money. Tiger don't need it. He's a billionaire. He doesn't need that type of money. He made money through endorsements and things like that. When you're the greatest in the world, you're going to get more endorsements in the Nike deals. Remember Tiger's Gatorade? He had Tiger Gatorade there for a while. So Tiger doesn't need that stuff. He had the Lexus endorsements. These other guys who are, middle and at the bottom of the PGA Tour, in the middle, they're not making anything. The league's not making any sort of effort to make it better. If you don't make the cut, you don't get paid. So at least at the on the Live Tour and the Saudi Tour, they're getting paid regardless. Give me that money. Give me the guaranteed money. Give me the guarantee. That's what it's about. That's what makes the world go round. Money. Whoever's going to pay the most. It doesn't matter. If you got offered a job today and they said, we're willing to pay you more money than the money you make right now, and are you really going to turn that down? Probably not. 9 out of 10 people are not. So so yeah, that's that's kind of what Tiger's saying. So we got some comments rolling in here. Tiger waited so long to say something. Makes you think the PGA, Tiger, please say something. Exactly. He did wait. I mean, it's been going on for months. And let's have the biggest guy in the world he's still in the world, an ambassador of our game, speak out against this tour. Don't forget, Landez says, don't forget the Waffle House endorsement. Yeah, Tiger was taking all his drunk whores to the Waffle House. He was getting endorsed there too, free meals. Tiger's point was the PGA is a brand, while Live is what wants you. So it's a slap in the face to the league that you got you a name. Exactly. I mean, the PGA doesn't want people. It's what's going to happen is because the PGA is going to try to ban these guys from coming to play there, or even playing the mass or majors. Right now the majors are allowing them. It's like up to the majors because they're like a separate entity. So it's like the PGA, and then it's like the USGA. It's all different, like type of leagues, kind of like soccer. But but the PGA is trying to get the Masters not to let these live guys play there, which I think is a little messed up. But let them go make their money. Let them go. You're not paying them, but somebody else is willing to pay them more. So why are you mad? Don't be mad because somebody's going to try to benefit their life and make more money. If you're not going to do it, then let somebody else do it. And they can't ban them from the majors. That's what I'm trying. Yeah, they can't ban them from the majors because the majors are independent, but they're trying to get them banned. I mean, don't think that they're not lobbying to get them banned. So that kind of wraps up a little bit of the just other news here before we get in baseball. The All-Star game. We'll talk a lot of baseball on Friday night's episode when Jonathan, ex MLB player Jonathan Grisham joins us. Special Friday night episode, but we had to talk about something here. Whit Merrifield had a streak going of 533 games played, and that ended last night. That ended last night at 533. So Cal Ripken that still remained the Iron Man. I mean, Whit Merrifield, 533 games played straight. That's a lot, and it's still about 500 something short of Cal. I'm not too sure what the record is. It might be over 1,000 still. Um, Somebody in the chat wants to look that up and let me know what Cal Ripken's record is. We'll look it up here real fast. Cal Ripken streak. Here we go. So when he broke the record, it was 2,131, and Whit Merrifield was the longest at 533. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that streak is going to last for a long, long time there on Cal Ripken there. So Landez, thanks Landez. Landez said Landez said 2,100 short of Cal. That's an crazy. Cal had how about 2,632 for Cal? Yeah, that's a record that doesn't get talked about enough because it's a record that'll never be broken. Is the Cal Ripken Ironman streak? I mean, just absolutely insane. And you're telling me that Whit Merrifield played 533 games straight? Like, that's wild. That's a lot of games for Whit Merrifield. Pretty good ball player, but I mean, Cal Ripken is the true Iron Man. Again, the MLB All Stars, the All Star game will be happening. They released the rosters. Not any like I wouldn't say there was like, oh my god, a huge snub there. Got to highlight my boy Ian Happ getting in. That was a nice surprise for the Cubs. I knew Wilson was going to get in, but I wasn't too sure if Ian was going to get in. But he got in. He was able to get in. We'll talk all things MLB again on Friday. Show ex-MLB player Jonathan Grishman. We'll get you wrapped up and ready for. We'll get the first half wrapped up and get you ready for the second half on Friday's edition of the special Friday edition of the Bodkin Show, 6 p.m. Central Time Zone. Tune in for that. Oh, I forgot a little bit of other. We've got some more comments here coming in before we get into. Saying 20 years of baseball straight. Merrifield played less than 5 seasons straight. Impressive, but miles away. 100%. Commish had to put Miggy and Albert in himself because votes couldn't. Yeah, I like. I mean, the votes couldn't get that in, couldn't get those guys in, but I do like the fact that they got them in. I'm glad that Albert's in. I'm glad that Miggy's in. I think that's a nice little going away. Special for them. I mean, are they going to do that for Miggy next year? Because I don't think this is his last year. I think he's got one more year. But Albert said this is his farewell tour. So why not put him in the All-Star game? Actually, and I think I hate to say it, but if Albert Pujols, I have a feeling Albert Pujols is going to be your All-Star game MVP if the National League wins. That's you heard it here first, folks. If he'll probably hit some home run, somebody give him a softball home run, he'll put it in the seats. It'll be like a 2-run jack. They'll give him the MVP. I hate to say that. It breaks my cubby heart, but you heard it here first. I'm no homer, folks. I mean, I'm a homer, but I just give it to you straight as well. Kenny said they made nearly 200 million after they were bad. That was their farewell gift. Exactly. Both those guys did get paid big money, but they're getting their big farewell tour. Another news here before we get into UFC talk. I needed to add UCLA and USC are headed to the Big Ten, which is now not the big. I mean, it's going to be called the Big Ten, but Jesus, they got like 20 teams now. They should be called the Big 20. Conferences are dying in college football and in really all college sports. I mean, it's supposed to be the big Power Five. We'll see what the announce about like the Power Three with the SEC out of Texas and Oklahoma. They'll be getting started. And now the response to the Big Ten said, "Oh, you're going to add those two powerhouses. We're going to add UCLA and USC to the Big Ten to try to level that back out." It's almost like the Power Two. the next shoe, Notre Dame's going to have to join a conference eventually in football. I know they don't like to, but that's just what's going to have to happen. They're going to be, it's just going to, why not just get rid of the conferences? I don't know what to do here, what the outlier is. I mean, to get maybe just do Big Five, uh, Power Five or Power Three, and then just all these teams just jockeying for position. It's all about money. It's all about TV networks. That's the whole reason, and exposure. It used to be geographical, but now that it's not anymore. Because now, if you're looking at the Big Ten, they got a team in New Jersey. Rutgers is going to have to fly all the way to UCLA to Los Angeles, all the way in California, all the way clear across the country to play one of these teams. It's just wild deal there. Uh, we'll see what happens. I mean, the college landscape is always changing, from NIL deals to the realignments. It's just going to be wild, wild, wild times in college sports. So let's break it down to our UFC here before we get out of here and get our day started. Um, Nice fights on Saturday. Huge Rafael Fiziev versus Rafael Dos Anjos. Rafael versus Rafael. This is a hell of a fight. Going into the 5th round, I tweeted out even, I don't know who the hell's winning this fight. It's so close. I had it Fiziev winning. RDA looked really good in the 4th round. That was the only clear-cut round to me was round 4 because RDA finally got the takedown on Fiziev. And took him down. That was the only round I was like, oh, RDA won that round, but I didn't know what the judges would have round 2 and 3. I was like, can somebody please get a finish here so we don't have to worry about what the judges scored this in this close fight. And sure enough, Rafael Fiziev answered my prayers as he knocks out RDA. You can call it an early stoppage, but I mean, RDA's legs went stiff. I mean, stiff as a board. Went stiff as a board, fell down. Fiziev's got 2 punches in, and the ref stopped it. I didn't really mind the stoppage due to the fact that RDA has been in some wars. He's been around. Let him, call it. It was over, and then you just kind of let RDA, live to fight another day, because you just don't know how many more fights the legend of RDA has. But for Rafael Fiziev, nice win. RDA has been kind of the gatekeeper of the 155 division. He's fought a who's who. I mean, anybody, welterweight and lightweight, RDA's fought a who's who. I mean, if you look at his record and who he's fought, I mean, it's a who's who of everybody. Never afraid to fight anybody. Always gets the tough and up and comer guy. Well, he got the tough one and got knocked out. Fiziev's nice win. He'll be entering the top 5 probably here soon. I've been high on him. He's a good character to have. His call outs are hilarious. His last 3 call outs, Hezbollah, Vince Vaughn, and Rafael Nadal. So, I mean, hilarious guy on the microphone. I just love that, he doesn't take himself too serious, but is serious in the cage. The guy can bang, and RDA could not take him down. I mean, his defense, his takedown defense is spot on. He's going to be a tough matchup. He did say he'd like to fight Justin Gaethje afterwards, which I like the Justin Gaethje fight. That would be a nice one, because any of those guys in the top 5 really that he's never fought. I'm not too sure what happens with Gaethje, but I wouldn't even mind seeing him fight Beneil Dariush, take his spot if he can win, because it looks like I'd like to see Poirier Chandler fight, which who knows if that's going to happen, but that would be a great matchup. They've been going at each other. Shit, they almost went at each other at the live event, the last UFC pay-per-view. This weekend, we got Yair Rodriguez, who Yair is told, and he's come out and said Yair will, if he wins that fight, the UFC is willing to give him a title shot. But here's the thing, Yair, you got the tough Brian Ortega. You're going up against him, and I like Ortega in this one. Lock it in, folks. Hammer it down. Brian Ortega's winning tonight, or winning on Saturday. That's kind of my pick. Nice little card, middle of the day, a noon card, UFC on Long Island. So like that card. Pretty decent card. We're working on some things on the UFC front with got a couple things we'll be announcing soon, shortly. We're up to something here on the Bodkin Show. Again, wrap everything up. Make sure you check out Monday's show with Buffoon and Bodkins on the Sports Buffoons Network. This Friday, a little special, 6 p.m. Central Time Zone, where we're talking all things baseball. We're working on maybe doing a Sunday show with somebody as well. Hopefully, we'll have that, be able to get that announced on Friday, or we might just be able to hop on Sunday and just say, hey, we're coming live to you. But we want to thank everybody here. Again, always check out Let's Talk Sports, the Sports Buffoons as well. So we got some things cooking with the Bodkin Show here and what we're doing. Big things on the way, big things on the horizon. I'm excited, hopefully, for the future. This will always be coming to you, folks. The Bodkin Show will always be coming to you. Again, this is my hobby. This is my passion. I suck at golf. I don't have patience for fishing. I suck at it as well. So this is the only thing I'm about halfway decent at in life. Not the only thing I'm halfway decent, but as a hobby wise, it's about the only thing I'm halfway decent at. So we appreciate everybody joining in the comment section. Holler out to Kenny, always a big contributor. He'll be coming on our UFC shows as always. Chris Landez, we're working on some things with Landez too, eventually someday as well. So appreciate everybody. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're going to be on Spotify now. That'll be getting uploaded here shortly later today. First episode on Spotify. So make sure you head over to Spotify, click the like and subscribe button. That way you don't have to watch it on YouTube. But if you're watching live, always head over to YouTube so we can get you in the comment section. We can answer any of the questions that you need and give some good, back and forth takes here. But everybody enjoy their Wednesday, rest of the week. Have a good weekend. We'll see you Friday with ex-MLB player Jonathan Grisham. A special time, special day, 6 p.m. Central. We're going to wrap up everything from the first half of the baseball season, and then we'll get you ready for the second half of the season. Some teams, is your team a pretender or a contender? Maybe talk a little trade deadline. What do these contenders need to get them over the hump? So we'll be doing that. That's, again, 6 p.m. Central Time Zone, special episode of the Bodkin Show Friday. Hope to see everybody then. Join us in the YouTube comment section. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the share button. We'll catch y'all later. Have a beautiful week, folks. We'll catch y'all later. Bodkin's out.